a lot is going on at this hour. The feds, the federal administration, the Trump administration, lodging new accusations against the detained Columbia University protester held by ICE, alleging that he hid his ties to controversial agencies in support of Palestinian refugees on his visa application. This as the Trump administration continues to fight back against these activist federal judges trying to shut down the agenda of the administration. It's before an appeals court in D.C. at this hour. Attorney General Pam Bondi tells Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who never turned down a single racial issue that she wanted to highlight, Jasmine Crockett of Texas, but the Attorney General telling her to tread carefully as Democrats plan, and Crockett in particular, a global day of action against Tesla. And the FBI has launched a task force to nail criminals behind the Tesla attacks, referring to them as domestic terrorists. Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach me this hour live right now, 800-848-9222. We want to hear from new callers. You are the top priority, and different callers, 800-848-9222. So who knew? Who knew AOC is a very sensitive topic for Bernie Sanders? Jonathan Call of ABC just asked Sanders about AOC possibly challenging Charles Schumer, and Bernie Sanders got up to walk away from the interview.
She inspires young people all over the country.
Would you like to see her join in the Senate?
Right now, we have, as I said, just a whole lot of people in the Congress. Okay, Jonathan, thanks.
Wait, I got one more. This is important.
No, I asked you.
Okay.
You want to do nonsense? Do nonsense.
No.
I don't want to talk about inside the Beltway stuff. I got 32,000 people.
I was just asking you about AOC because she was out there with you.
Yeah, fine, but I don't want to talk about this.
And Sanders did not want to address the issue and did not. Jonathan Call and a colleague discussing it later in the program.
Look, it's one thing to sort of energize the base. It's another thing to go directly after your party leadership. And obviously he dodged that question, tried to get up to leave.
Help me translate. Why was he so irritated at even the mention of AOC running for Senate?
Well, it's obviously a sensitive subject because he is on Chuck Schumer's leadership team. And so, if he goes out there and endorses a primary challenge to Schumer, I mean, that would be a total bloodbath. But look, the bloodbath is already happening. I mean, people are calling for Schumer to step aside.
And indeed, that's the case. 800-848-9222, the number to reach me right now. Border Czar Tom Homan, and I love this guy. He's doing a wonderful job. So is the Trump administration. Bye-bye to the illegals. I don't care what the federal judges say. Ultimately, even if it goes to the Supreme Court, it's going to go in the favor of the Trump administration. Tom Homan appeared on the same ABC show yesterday.
What we've heard from lawyers representing some of these people is that they deny that they're members of this gang, or either Tren de Aragua or MS-13. Do they get a chance to prove that before you take them out of the country and put them into a notorious prison in a country that they're not even from? I mean, do they have any due process at all?
Look, due process. Where was Lake and Ronnie's due process? Where were all these young women that were killed and raped by members of TDA? Where was their due process?
Well, the people that did that should be prosecuted.
On the subway, where's her due process?
Well, sure.
The bottom line is that plane was full of people designated as terrorists. Number one. Number two, every Venezuelan migrant on that flight was a TDA member based on numerous criminal investigations, on intelligence reports, and a lot of work by ICE officers. Matter of fact, 2 days after that flight took off, I even had a discussion with the acting director of ICE, and he reiterated that every Venezuelan on that plane was a known member of the TDA. So a lot of officers, a lot of criminal investigators, special agents who've done this for decades, looked at the intelligence information, the criminal investigation information, all the various social media and surveillance and government records and public records, and they are confident that they're all members of the TDA. And I'm not surprised that a member of the family saying they're not a member of the TDA, but they were given due process as according to the laws on the books.
Border Czar Tom Holman. Dominic Carter here with you. We are about to start with your calls, but let me update you on this situation, a battle that is brewing between the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, and Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of Texas. The Attorney General telling Crockett to, quote, tread carefully as this Democratic representative is planning a global day of action against Tesla.
Now you have this Congresswoman Crockett who is calling for attacks on Elon Musk on her birthday. Let's take him out on my birthday, she says. Yet she turns and says, oh, I'm not calling for violence. Well, she is an elected public official. And so she needs to tread very carefully because nothing will happen to Elon Musk. And we're going to fight to protect all of the Tesla owners throughout this country, and it's this basic safety. Once again, domestic terrorism is going to come to a stop in our country.
The Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi. I'm about to go to Mike in Connecticut to begin with the calls. But this is what the Congresswoman, and I am not a fan at all of Jasmine Crockett. She's a racial flamethrower. She's a Maxine Waters in training. She is not good for America. This is what Jasmine Crockett had to say to the words of the Attorney General.
I want to say that I have never promoted violence whatsoever, yet I've also never made excuse for those violent actors such as the ones on January 6th. So Pam Bondi, if you have an issue with terrorism, maybe you should talk to your boss about locking back up those guys that he let out that participated in January 6th.
And again, this Congresswoman, Jasmine Crockett of Texas, is nothing more than a Maxine Waters in training. Let's go to Mike in Connecticut, line 2. Mike, what's on your mind?
Dominic Carter, good afternoon. Enjoy your show. I just want to ask a question why this federal judge in Washington, D.C. is questioning Donald Trump taking on undocumented illegal immigrants who are gang members, and they never questioned Joe Biden flying in undocumented immigrants, millions of them, into the United States. He was never questioned about anything.
Isn't that ironic, Mike? You tell me why. You tell me why. Basically, essentially, President Biden was given a free pass to bring migrants, illegals into the country that offer nothing, when we're being honest, to the country except for crime and taking resources. And he was allowed to do that. But when Trump says, get out of America, all of a sudden it's a problem. You tell me why, Mike.
It's a double standard, in my opinion. It's the Donald Trump hatred, the syndrome, of course.
Right. It's another way of attacking our president, even though he has a mandate. But I'm still, Mike, let me be very clear, bet on Trump. At the end of the day, Trump is going to win this. There will be shortfalls every now and then via the court system. But at the end of the day, these federal judges, they're having their 15 minutes of fame, and what's amazing, Mike, now that I think about it, these migrants that are gang members, they don't live in the neighborhoods of these judges, but yet they want to make it so that they can stay here. It is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. It's before an appeals court in D.C. as we speak, and we'll see how that turns out. Mike, thank you for the great call from Connecticut. Don't be a stranger. Let's go to Jeezy in New Jersey, line 4. Good afternoon. What's on your mind?
Hey, it's Gigi, G-I-G-I.
Oh, it says Jeezy on my screen here.
Okay. That's okay.
I'm sorry.
Gigi.
So Gigi.
That's okay. Dominic, I'm happy to talk to you, and I'm sitting behind a Tesla right now, and honestly, I really don't even know what to think about the targeting that is going on against a business And I don't even understand where the motivation is to target an automobile thing, even though Elon Musk is involved in it. I just don't understand the logic behind attacking innocent people who are driving around in their vehicles or working at their job. I don't understand it.
It makes absolutely no sense, none whatsoever. And okay, let's say, and you said it's Gigi, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say for argument's sake, this disgusting comment I'm about to make. Let's say you destroy 100 Teslas and you take out a dealership. Is that going to put a dime in your pocket? Meaning these dumb protesters.
No, not only is it not going to put a dime in their pocket, but most of the people driving those vehicles are now going to be so upset that they were targeted that they're going to start waking up and seeing how lost their party is.
Absolutely. And that's what's happening now. That's why people like Bill Maher over at HBO, and yes, he talks out of both sides of his mouth when it's convenient. He's almost a politician himself. But Democrats are in deep trouble, Gigi, and they don't see what everyone else sees, that they're in deep trouble, and they just keep making the same mistakes over and over and over. So over the weekend, Bernie Sanders and AOC, they're out in Las Vegas, this huge rally, 20 to 30,000 people. What does it mean? Just out there, riling people up. What does all of this mean? I'll give you the final word, Gigi. Go ahead.
I have no idea what it means to rile people up, to target innocent people that maybe you have a different political view than. I don't understand the hatred. I don't understand that person Crockett, whatever her name is, coming out against, promoting hate against people you don't agree with. Since when is this the way Americans behave? That if someone doesn't agree with your political thought, you attack them, you intimidate them? I don't understand this, and I think they really need to examine their moral compass.
Agreed, Gigi. And all Democrats are doing right now, they think they're doing the right thing. All they're doing is shooting themselves in the foot. If you think this last presidential election was bad, what do you see what's going to happen with the midterms? Americans are not stupid. Thank you for the wonderful call. We want to hear from you in the future. Thank you so much for the call. I've got to take a break. We see all of your calls coming in, several from the state of Florida, New Jersey, Long Island. When we come back, we're going to get to those calls. Dominic Carter here with you, 800-848-9222.